Okay, first things first, I just want to preface this entire video, and it's a long one. It's going to be like an hour at least. That's why it's going on YouTube. But I want to preface, the process I'm about to go through is not, quote-unquote, the fastest. It's by far the slowest. It is not what most people would consider the best at all. If anybody even knows it exists, I'm not really sure. But what it does guarantee, that no matter how much the next guy spends on their UV printers, no matter, it does not fucking matter by nature of law. Those use alcohol-based ink. I use water-based ink, in which allows me to force more color, ergo higher DPIs from the softwares I use into every image based upon the time in which I'm pressing each individual spot. That's why I let it cook for so long. Okay? So, before you go in the comment warrior section, you're like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever... Okay, that's fine. Cool. I've made a lot of money doing it. Okay? On top of the fact that you could have a factory and still not make the things that I can make. And I live in an $850 a month rent house with not even a circuit breaker. It's got one of those little fuse box thing. And I can still do this. I use a bit more expensive of a sublimation printer. Don't get me wrong. However, you can also do it with any Epson Eco Tank by simply voiding the warranty and forcing it to use sublimation ink from the get-go. The $250 one at Walmart. Literally. Is it a lot of fucking pieces and a lot of fucking panels and a lot of fucking learning? Yeah! A shit ton! But I just think it's extremely cool that no matter what you do, no matter how much you spend, no matter how much factory, no matter how much anything you have, if you are using a traditional vinyl, laminate, any sort of UV printer, you physically cannot create the same level of color saturation and the same height of DPI, which is dots of ink per inch in the print, that I can using a method in which you can do from your house, spend a lot of time doing it, whilst only spending about $7 to $1,000. Like that heat press I'm using was $700. The printers you can use to create these things get as low as like $250. If you've looked at the current price of like a fucking brand new Mamaki print cut machine or Roland or any of them, we're talking at least $60,000, $70,000 out of the gate. That's without buying the roster software. That's without keeping that all up to date, which they make new ones of every fucking year. Like, so again, I know how to do all that shit. I have massive banners on a wall. I don't own things I didn't make, okay? I'm very well aware of how to do those things. But again, I just think it's so freaking badass that is the case. So, we're going to show you how to do it.
So, using Vinyl Master XPT 5.0, and if you learn how to use it well enough, especially when it comes to masking images, it's pretty nuts, dog. Like, it's pretty stupid. There we go. And yes, I'm very aware AI masking apps exist. However, they don't do nearly as good of a job. Like, not even remotely close. Not even remotely close. I do want the black back in there, though. I want the black back in his mouth, rather. See, because now we are going to trace this, add a little bit of highlighting, a little bit of, what do you want to call it, bordering, as well as some background, super colorful imagery that's not just black. And then we're going to make a roof size decal out of it. Alright, so after we went through, traced it, we returned it into a bitmap after the trace, just from the sizing of this image. If you don't trace it and then make it a bitmap, I don't know what I guess what the technical term of that would be. It's just not going to register, like with how many lines and different colors and different variants. It's like just a lot for the program to handle. And this is with a very nice computer. Like the thing is built specifically for graphic design. As well as I have like tens of thousands, if I had to guess, images and things and designs and stuff already saved on the computer. Although I'm going to go through and save the file after like every step with the sizing of this specific file. Sharp. So we're going to make it white. We're going to hit accept. We are going to take that white outline that I didn't extend past anything, like I didn't add any actual spacing to it, because I'm going to then come into the color options, click wireframe. Excuse me. And then we are going to add just a shade. It's like a 2% black glow to that white wireframe. Make sure you can actually see it, right? Click that picture again. Do another sharp outline. It's going to take a second. But we are going to get rid of the holes.
Okay, so my glasses decided to die at the worst possible moment. It didn't save that video. But what we did do is we got rid of the holes after, Trace made a border, got rid of those holes, which created a black vector. That black vector we then common spaced out of a specific image that you'll see in the video again here in a minute. And that's going to be utilized as a background to go behind the glow effect you just saw was created.
Alright. Well, we've got that image traced. I'm then going to go to the color adjuster and saturation all the way up. Probably contrast to 40. Yeah, let's go 50. Yeah, let's go 50. Turn gamma down by like 2 punches. Flatten her out. Send that to the back. And I know you didn't necessarily see me send it to the back. We're going to select it all. Go into our alignment tools. Make it all one thing. It takes a minute. It takes a minute. It Okay. Well, that's what we're left with. Now I'm going to take all of that. We're going to turn that whole thing into a bitmap. Right before too big. We're going to upscale the shit out of it after the fact. We're also going to cut it into a few different pieces. As well as, I'm going to save it again. I'm going to add some basic shapes. I like this one for the time being, just because it's simple enough. Boop. 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 And we're going to put this big old decal somewhere. I'm not really sure where, but we're going to line it so it's in the center. And we're going to take this. We are going to solid fill it so I can do that same kind of process again. Except for this time, we are going to do... yeah. Lay gold background. We are then going to, you guessed it, trace that gold background because we're going to add more borders to that gold background. Be right back. Alright, and then we also saved it again. We're going to go back to color adjuster and saturation all the way up, contrast to 15 and gamma to 10. Boom. Flatten that guy. Boom. Align those suckers one more again. It's getting to the point where we're going to have to restart the program. We're at about half mast for the sizing of this. But first, we're going to make this shrink from the center point, lock our ratios. Just get a little bit closer to everything. And then we're gonna do one of those, and we're gonna incorporate that same image from behind that image that I used earlier into making a border. Go back. Go to background, please. Okay, we go boom. We go boom. We're gonna rotate it a little bit so it's not exactly the same. We're gonna save that. I'm gonna select both of those, but not the Luffy thing. Which that did not do. Come and convert that to a bitmap. No, we don't want to just resample. We want to make it a bitmap so we can then go like that. Image tools, force that stuff up again. Let's go back to like 50 here. And then get rid of some of the gamma, flatten her out. Save. See how it's at 1037 out of 2048, meaning we are going to restart the program to get rid of lay dump files, in which you can create automatic dump folders for the record. I'm just not a huge fan of that. Like, it gets a lot laggier, and it just, like, then you gotta go in and find those dump folders, and you gotta get rid of them, otherwise it eats up your storage space, which I've got like 16 extra terabytes of SSDs in that thing, so it's not a big deal. But it's a big enough deal, in my opinion. We're going to trace that sucker again. Alright, we have her traced again. We're going to force it into the background one more time. Put that behind that. Click on... Nice, I didn't make it all one image yet. That's perfect, because I wanted to make the opacity of that gold like 220. Never mind. I don't want to do that. But... Alright, my glasses died.
But what I do want to do is do one more of these where we got the white backing, turn that into a wireframe. We're going to add another glow, except this time we're going to do 1.25%, opacity all the way up, color to black, resolution to high, gamma to about 420. If you know, you know. Boom, boom. And then click this one. Give her an easy to see black outline because we're going to be cutting this later. And then select all of it, convert it to a bitmap, make it bigger. The space on my roof in which this would be going is about 43 by 43-ish, so I'm going to make it like 40 by 40. We're going to have to trace it one last time here. And then, what we're going to do, I have a 24-inch wide printer, so we are going to print two 24-inch strips, which will be plenty of space to fit into a 40 by 40, right? And then we're going to heat press those two 20-inch strips individually in 1, 2, 3 different presses per strip. So, I mean, it's going to be a while. It's going to be like a couple hours worth of pressing. Into laminate, we're going to take those strips using the installation glue, which allows it to slide around if you spray it enough. And then we're going to line them on top of white vinyl, just like all the other graphics that I do. That's going to result in a DPI of way higher than traditional printing, like way higher than 300, as well as way more color saturation. So. Shebang. And we have the image we want. Boom. Okay. We are going to go up here and make it like 40 by 40. 40 by 39.7, whatever. That's fine too. It's not exactly square, but we got it how we want it, right? So now we've got 40, 30. We need to take a block thing, whatever you want to call that. It's technically a vector. We're going to make the vector 40 inches wide, as well as about 20 inches tall. Don't know why I have two of them. We're going to turn on snap to objects. We're going to duplicate that. And if you're curious how I'm doing all this, like just saying it and then doing it, I have every single button on this mouse, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 custom mapped to specific things that I can do in Vinyl Master. And now we're going to take this, we are going to duplicate it. We're going to duplicate it twice, in fact, because we're going to select these two guys. We're going to duplicate that. That's going to snap to perfectly on there. Boom, boom. Get rid of the top, get rid of the bottom. Common. Not really sure why my phone decided to do that, but we've got them both commented out. Now we need to turn them both into their own bitmaps. It's right before just too big. Get it to right before just too big. And then we are going to export these two now individual images that will line up perfectly once it loads. Thank you. We are going to export those. We'll use this file. Leaf part 1. And the reason I'm doing this is so I can bring them individually into their own page on Vinyl Master and force them to be extraordinarily high resolution. Like to the point where it's not even going to let me save those files once I've done so, due to how absurdly large they are. But what it will do for a fact is we're going to restart that. Those have both been exported. it will let me print those from those new pages, as well as I've now saved them in that page, as well as I've now exported them into their own folder at a normal size. So like I don't lose the images. I just kind of elongate the process that is copy paste, I guess, because I don't want to lose the actual image. So we're going to take just one of them, and if I were to have tried to do this resampling on the page it was on, there's absolutely zero chance it would let me resample it to the size that I want it to. So at this size right now, and on one piece like this, is at 141 DPI, right? 5600 wide by 2800 tall. I'm going to resample that. I'm going to pop that up to like 12,000. Making it that one's actually exactly 300, so let's go 13, make it 325. Now, this portion, with Vinyl Master specifically, it makes a ding. Knowing how that ding sounds is understanding how long you need to wait to press that OK if you actually want this to work at the size that I do. The ding now was very mute. Like, I heard it, but it was very in the background, meaning there's a halfway decent chance this doesn't even work this time because I haven't been able to save it. But, being I'm waiting the time that I have, I really hope that's not the case. However, if it does work, it's going to take a solid 30 to 40 seconds. Yeah, see? So, we're going to restart that. Yes. It's there somewhere. So when we got it back to where it was, as you can see, it didn't even register that image being saved. That's why I came in here and exported it into its own folder. Reason being is because I forgot to trace it. So, we got the image in here again. All this shenanigans is a big reason as to why graphic design work starts at like $150. Like, the amount of time I've had to spend just learning how to read and understand when the program messes up and how to circumvent that messing up is ridiculous. It's like years. It's literal years. Okay, so now it's traced. Now, while it's still small, it will let me save this. I'm just going to save it randomly. And due to the fact that I've made steps towards what I want to do on this page, that means information has loaded and saved onto the page and created dump files. So yes, again, we have to restart the program. It's annoying. It's excessive. However, it makes some really dope shit. As well as Vinyl Master stores backups of like everything, so that's why I'm doing that. Like, if I didn't dump those files, those backups stay stored and they make it impossible for me to do what it is that I want to do, which in the end goal is the resampling to make it crazy large. Did you hear that ding? That was a good ding. That's because I dropped it to 12.5 rather than 13. So I'm going to go 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, 8 Mississippi, 9 Mississippi, 10. And now we wait a second. Now these little dots around the image will go away once it's actually registered. And see if you can tell when that happens. In the image itself. The difference of the resampling. So now, you can re-click it. It's at 12.5, way bigger. It will allow me to print this now, and I'll have to go through that same exact process. We gotta go through and select all the proper printer settings. Is that plugged in? Fuck, it's not even plugged in, dog. That shit ain't even plugged in, dog. Alright, printer's plugged in. Now we gotta go through, select all our settings, roll paper. I have custom pre-saved settings that force it to print in colorimetric settings, like host ICM settings. I turn the print preview off because it's super laggy to look at and I don't need to preview it. We know the width is going to be 24. That's the width that it can print. We know it's 40 inches wide, so we're going to shoot it to 41. Hit OK. If you hit enter, you'll have to redo that. Hit that, go into landscape, boom, current selection, mirror, because we're going to be pressing it into laminate, okay? And now we can print that. It's going to take a minute because the printer is still turning on, but it'll get there. As well as sublimation printing or UV printing, large format, whether you're doing TIFF files, whatever. If you want an ultra high quality print, you need to turn bidirectional printing off, as well as you need to accept the fact that it's going to go very slowly. But it's going to give you the perfect print if you set everything up properly, which you'll see in a second. Alright, just to show you how that first print turned out, like I said, fucking perfect. Due to the fact that I run a 480 hertz monitor, as well as my computer can overclock to actually provide a 480 hertz refresh rate, or frame rate, refresh rate, however you want to say it. That's why I print in host ICM absolute colorimetric settings. Due to like the print that comes out of that is going to guarantee be as close to exactly what I designed, which is also the reason I don't ever auto adjust. That's also the reason I always trace everything in a logo format rather than a default. Like, it's very important to do all of those things manually if you want the end product to not be freaking wonky. I would also like to add, I'm sure there are many other ways to do this process, including just different types of printing. Not I'm sure, I actually factually know there are, know very well how to do those things. I just don't have a $70,000 printer. And this provides a better image in the long run. It's a lot more work, don't get me wrong. And it requires, you know, a 5 with 3 zeros after it worth of a software that's also got a monthly subscription and a roughly $10,000 computer and all of these things. But I've been building all this up for over a decade. Like, I've been teaching myself all of these things. So I'm 100% self-taught with everything that I do. That's why I like to go through and make videos like this when I have downtime, spare time, whatever. And I want a dope-ass fucking Luffy roof decal. You know? So, yeah. Okay. So, what we're going to do is the same exact... We've already gone through and got the second piece. Excuse me. To how we want it. We're going to mirror it. Actual size. It's already at 12.5 pixels. And we are going to print that piece. And then what we're going to do, because we don't have any big enough pieces of white vinyl, it's not at all a big deal. We are going to span out the amount of the 751, the width of it, twice. We're going to lift up one little edge on both of those pieces. We're going to overlap them, and then we're going to seam it. Take out the bottom from the seam. It'll line up perfectly. You won't ever see the seam, ever. And then once these are pressed into laminate, I'll be able to lay them on top of that big piece of white 751, which is a cast vinyl, meaning that once it's all said and done, after this crazy elongated process, I'll be able to just spray my roof, lay the whole thing in one piece, squeegee it out, and be done. But it takes a while. Right, piece numero dos is done, but in the interim here, so we've got our new favorite actually, got this stuff, as well as realize how insane it is for sublimation. We're going to take our image. We're not going to cut it out. I like to leave it a little bit excess because when you go through and heat press it, now again, that part, if you want to learn, you got to help yourself a little bit. Like, I can only do so much. But
we're gonna take it and we are going to get it real close to that edge right there. That's right there. And I do like to leave it uncut. I like to have the excess due to the fact that if you try to cut it way too closely, the heat press can fall and lean very weirdly as you push it and unroll it through the heat press, to the point where like I have like a literal setup to where I roll it up, I force it in there, I start that process, and then as it comes out, it falls onto this rather than just drapes, otherwise it'll fuck the image up. But so now, take it. I'll tell you at least how to set it up. As far as the heat, the pressure, the time spent, it's going to be 3 full presses for the max length. Actually, it's going to be 3 individual presses. Like, I'll have to hit this spot, and this spot. And actually, I'm going to have to allow it to sit at the temperature that it is twice of the full time of the heat press, which is about 16 minutes. So in all reality, each piece, each 3 pieces, is going to be about 32 minutes, and we're going to have to do that for the top and the bottom. So that's 3 hours just in press time. And figuring out the temperature to not melt the shit and actually get it to accept the ink properly is a battle in and of itself. But it is doable. It is very doable. It is very stressful. However, it's pretty fun, man. Like, if you just like learning, like, I just love learning. Like, I don't love any specific thing that I do for work, okay? Or for pleasure, or whatever. I love learning.
And a little side note, if you just fall in love with learning, everybody eventually loves things they're great at. So yes, the process might suck dick while it's happening. In fact, I can almost guarantee it. But if you persevere through that, and you learn that process, and get really good at it, you'll eventually fall in love with the thing that you just learned to do.
So that's why I have spent the amount of time teaching myself and forcing myself to learn this whole process. Also, I always roll it up that way so the paper's on the outside. If you do it the other way, you can get those same types of ripples. But that's why I spent all these years teaching myself how to do this stuff. Because there, as far as I'm aware, is no information of it, about any of it, online, other than maybe like other than the videos that I've posted up about it. Whether that's on YouTube, on Facebook, on whatever. We're going to have to run it again through 3 presses, so we're going to get as much of it as we can. Not all. Boom. Also, with laminate and the sub paper, it's at, I'll give you this hint, it's at a low enough temperature to where you don't have to use any sort of transfer sheeting. You do have to have real high pressure. My heat press is a little wonky, so every time I shut it, I gotta restart it because I overpressure the shit out of everything. And then we wait for it to ding, and then we restart it again. And then once that second round is done, we force out some more material and do it again through the whole day. While that's pressing, I can at least show you what the hell I was talking about with joining the vinyls. If I can find a knife. So if you've ever seen window tint, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you've ever seen vinyl or PBF, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But my fingers want to work. Sorry, I have done a pretty gross amount of just about all of the things that I do today, and my brain's getting a tad bit scattered. All we need to do is make sure that the 2 pieces, once they are joined, will be 40 inches tall, right? So I don't have to be like super careful about this. I'm just taking a little bit up, as well as being this is going to end up being 2 layers of material. Don't worry about doing this and touching the adhesive side. You'll never see. Oh, looks like that's where we got to cut it off, because I accidentally cut that spot. But you'll never see any of this contamination, as well as everything that I'm lifting right now. I'm going to cut off anyway. So, huzzah. We are going to lift that up. Okay? We are then going to chop off that backing. We are going to switch these spots for just a second. Ooh, I might not have enough space. Yeah. That out of the way. That out of the way. That. Boom, boom, boom. And now this piece. Whew, excuse me. We're going to get ready to line that guy up. We are going to bring this guy over, the backing that we just cut off. And all we're going to do... Oh, let's get a little bit more of this up so it all lands on the backing of one form or another. Whoop. It is a little weird to do. I wish I had 2 tables or just a bigger one, but I do have 2 tables. I just don't want to clean the other one off and being really real. But get that lifted. Slide that sucker under there. Slide it under. Slide it under. This would have been much easier with 2 tables. I have to be extremely clear about that. Okay. Slid under. Slid under. Know we're at the right width. And then we're just going to fold this back over. Yeah. This would all have been a lot, not easier per se doing it wet, but if you're trying this, I would recommend doing this part wet. However, we don't need a bunch of area without creasing. You know, we just need enough because we're going to cut it all off anyway. Okay, we're going to take our knife. We're going to chop right in the middle. And now you're going to want to try to do your best to cut through both layers of vinyl without cutting that final backing paper, which is quite a bit harder said than done. But you can kind of feel it individually puncture. And I would recommend also cutting through a few pieces of backing paper by itself, just so you know what that feels like.
What's wrong?
Okay, now we're going to take off. So now, once you do cut that, you have to take that underneath layer from the other side and also get rid of that. And it should pull out decent. Just go very slow about it. Now that line that you see is just the difference in the backing paper. There won't be an actual blue overlap any longer. Now make sure you set it back down where you found it, Zach. Okay, so we got it all the way up to there. Where does she start again? Right there. You have to be very, very gentle about this process as well. Like, it's definitely a fragile one.
Why the hell did you want to shoot it? Katakuri, tell me what you see.
We have a bigger problem, Baba. Something completely unexpected. Even I can't stop this.
What now? Do we fight? Or are we waiting? So is this something new? Almost there! Please forgive me, Mama. I had no choice but to do what they said. It's time to take Sanji back!
Come to this side, where our little overlap spot is quite a lot larger, be easier to grab, hopefully.
Out of the cake.
Come on. Go. Oh, so if you've made it this far, please be aware that I'm going to cut and edit that to where I don't look as ridiculous, but I sat there and fought with that for a solid minute and a half just to get that little piece of vinyl started. Yeah, just kind of showing you the process. That was born out of necessity, out of lack thereof larger material, out of like just wanting to know if I could. There are, again, if you can afford it, infinitely easier ways to do this, alright? I'm not at all saying it has to be done like this whatsoever. I am simply saying that it can be. Alright, and so now, like, you can see a seam there, but it's not actually a seam. The vinyl is lined up perfectly. The seam you're seeing is the fact that there's 2 excess layers of backing paper. That's not a seam, okay? That's where this layer of vinyl is resting on top of 2 pieces of backing, but once everything is adhered together and taken off, that will not be there, okay? And we'll show you that. Alright, now the sketchiest part of all of this, getting the over laminate on the vinyl. And I'm mildly terrified, honestly. Hopefully the gel plus the ultra thin slime will do the trick, man. I do not know. This shit is so tacky that all I can really do is put as much on there as I can put on there and hope it works. Yes, I'm aware that ultra thin slime is meant for outdoor use as well. I don't really care. No water in there. It is just straight gel. Okay, we'll be alright. Fucking thank God. Because the rest of it, look at that though. That's already tacked, dude. That is so nuts.
Stand back. I'll handle these no-name
That is so nuts.
Don't eat those words with a side over of my fist. Now still.
That is working though. So, whew. Okay. Now, before I pressure set any of that, hold on. Hold on. Okay.
These guys look like good punching bags to me. Did you see that? Look at him go, I guess it's mine. Let's do this. Stop buzzing around like a fly. Stop fumbling around like a duck.
Ugh, just a massive mess, isn't it?
Excellent work. It sure is nice having human shields.
It's over.
Well, we found the right solution for it. Thank God.
Punished. I'll burn you.
That was, dude, that was upsetting. Time for the chop app, hopefully. I sure hope so. This is, rough to say the least with overland. I mean, lay it down quick. It's even worse being I got a puppy that broke his coat, but I love her, so it's okay. Alright.
Betting your dumb plan worked after all.
Let's end this sticky situation quick. Captain Wall! Damn it!
What the hell is that? Why isn't it in my way? I'm back to being ruined, aren't I?
You literally have to spray it so much so that the adhesive actually never touches the vinyl because of how tacky that vinyl is and how tacky laminate is and how tacky laminate is to vinyl. If at any point that laminate adhesive actually touches that vinyl, it ain't moving, okay? That's why I'm using straight gel and ultra tense limes and like coating it a lot. A lot. Okay? It's a mess. It's gonna be a lot to soak up. But hopefully it'll be worth it.
I'm so close. Now that I've made it this far, I really don't want to die. Freedom within my sight. Maybe it's the candy, but I swear it tastes so sweet.
The Tomate box is right there. Secrets could be mine. I wish it would have fallen someplace more convenient. I can't miss this. I gotta jump.
What are you going to do with that treasure you found?
Who is that?
Okay. Holy crap, we might have got him. Ugh.
That's smart. But it'll all be worth it. It's gotta be Something good.
Well, the seam is looking pretty dang good. Okay. That's awesome, because this was getting really quite frustrating up until this very moment. Please don't.
Don't worry. I'll still let you take the blame for its disappearance.
Like that shit? How?
I trust that's
How is that already tagged?
Morgan's busted. Look, but don't touch. I'm sure a professional spin doctor such as yourself knows how the arrangement works.
I'm a newsman! That's why ya! Are you holding me? I've got some cargo first! You're next! Just one punch and you got it!
Now that part's not tagged at all. Of course. Of course. Makes sense, right? It's the soapiest mess ever, but... we got something. If you would like to see how I made this 40 by 39.7 inch decal that's on 751 cast vinyl, that you could use any of that installation glue from ddtools.net to spray any surface, any vehicle, and just slap it on. From the graphic design to the sublimation printing to the how I set it up in the heat press to how I dry seamed the 751 because it was two pieces of 24-inch tall, to how I use the installation glue with a combination of tin slimes, ultra slime, installing it. Go to the link. It's a long ass video, but